All right, so I've been watching this since the news broke, and this is the biggest load of fucking bullshit that I've seen in a while, which hasn't really been that long. So watch some of this because they're going to get to this woman who's going to talk. And I'm telling you right now, this is 100% acting. There's sirens. That's at my house, not on TV. But let's watch some of this.
Part of a so-called immediate reaction force that has been deployed.
It's all a scene.
This is the backup force of the National Guard to try and help out to provide more security.
A car rammed. Rammed. The son, the man, the ram. And then you got a hidden 33 right there. Turn them M sideways. This is a fake event.
When it's needed.
And they literally break news with this like 10 minutes after the Darren Chauvin trial ends for the weekend.
Saw them with shields and other equipment. This is part of how they are outfitted to help.
Look at this. This is all a scene.
When they're needed for this kind of activity.
It's already over. Like the incident's over.
It's about 2,300.
So they filmed this at a different time.
Total National Guard devoted to the Capitol Hill.
So why aren't they rushing? If they film this during the event, why are they just walking and lollygagging?
Mission to protect the complex.
This is so fake. This isn't what I want to show, though. I want to get to this woman that's about to talk.
They could.
Because this is 100% bullshit. And I don't want to listen to all of it again.
It is with a heavy heart that I come here this afternoon.
Okay, it's with a heavy heart, so get to it.
To shed some light on the incident that occurred at the United States Capitol.
The supplemental guard has arrived at Cal
Suspect, he did not respond to verbal
And then look at the name. Hitman. She's got the man in her name.
commands. The suspect did start lunging toward U.S. Capitol Police officers, at which time U.S. Capitol Police officers fired upon the suspect. At this time, the suspect has been pronounced deceased.
Oh, that must be the heavy heart comment, right? Because who breaks news and talks about the suspect dying
U.S.
first?
Capitol Police officers were transported to two different hospitals.
Just listen how she drags this on. And I've said this before. These traffic lights, these are threes. So you have a hidden three right there. There's another one. Y'all don't believe me. People be mocking me for this, but those are threes. That mushroom guy from that, I don't know, Boulder, Colorado shooting. They got the traffic lights in that shot.
And it is with a very, very heavy heart that I announce one of our officers has succumbed to his injuries.
Bullshit.
We are not able to release any information, names, age, date of birth, or anything of that nature at
Dude, this is such bullshit. None of these people involved exist. This is all staged.
this time because we still have to notify the next of kin. I just ask that the public.
Yeah, I mean, yet you come out here on TV, you still got to notify them, but first you're going to go on TV and talk about it.
Continue to keep U.S. Capitol Police and their families in your prayers. This has been an extremely difficult time for U.S. Capitol Police after the events of January 6th.
And look, I've been saying it for the past week. Tomorrow's countdown. It could be the final countdown day. I don't know what it means, but I know tomorrow's 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the date. Saw a commercial where they aired a commercial that had 4, 3, 2, 1 in it. So I don't know, man. There's been a lot of events, and you know how April is. April, maybe it's a countdown to one of the craziest months we're about to see for staged events. Maybe nothing happens tomorrow, but it's still a significant day.
And now the events that have occurred here today. So I ask that you keep our U.S. Capitol Police family in your thoughts and prayers.
You're not. You're on TV telling them, hey, I know you, like, you're saying a Capitol Police officer died, but you haven't contacted the family yet, and that's why you can't give us information. So they're at home watching this, and you got hundreds of police officers' families who are sitting there wondering if it's theirs because you haven't contacted them yet, but you ran out to talk to CNN and everyone else?
At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Metropolitan Police Chief.
And like, she should have led that they lost a cop, not I'm going to lead with the story and the suspect and then drag it on and say with heavy heart and then say that a cop died.
Robert Conti for the Metropolitan Police Department's portion of this investigation. Thank you.
This is a bullshit event. You know how easy it is to crash a car into a brick, I don't know what structure that they had there, roadblock, and just crash the car there and say, oh yeah, you know, 2 cops got injured and that guy's dead. I didn't see any blood at the scene.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert Conti, Acting Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department. Our members responded to the U.S. Capitol today just after 1 o'clock p.m. To investigate an officer-involved shooting. At this time,
And then you got Conti, which is another, you know, if it's EE at the end, it's a 33.
Metropolitan
That one isn't because it's not, you know, the letters aren't shaped like 3s.
Police Department
But sometimes that's what it looks like.
Homicide Division, as well as our Internal Affairs Division, will now take over the investigation with respect to the shooting death that occurred, as well as the officer's death. There's not a lot of information that we can release to the public at this time.
So then why are you here?
But we certainly will be working very closely with our partners at the Park Police, at the U.S. Capitol Police. At this time,
The Park Police? I don't know if that's something or nothing.
working very closely with our partners at the Park Police, at the U.S. Capitol Police. At this time, I just want to extend my deepest condolences on behalf
What y'all been doing with the Park Police? They're not really that serious. It'd be easy to take someone from the Park Police and use them for an event.
of the entire Metropolitan Police Department, to all of the officers at the
Plus, those people be willing to do something like that to get higher up and get more money, or, you know, just get a better position because they're fucking Park Police. It's one step ahead of mall cop.
United States Capitol Police for their service. And,
Hey, the microphone fell over. That's an omen. I don't know what you'd call that.
unfortunately, to all of the officers at the United States Capitol Police for their service, and unfortunately for the loss of life that have occurred here today at the
Yeah, what a shit show.
United States Capitol Police.
Is there an ongoing threat here on Capitol Hill or in the neighborhood? What can you tell residents that live here as well as folks that work in this area?
At this time, it does not appear to be an ongoing threat.
Then why did you roll out the entire squad with bulletproof shields and shit?
Obviously, we're in the very early stages of our investigation. We need to obviously understand the motivation behind this senseless act. So the Metropolitan Police Department will certainly be doing that.
I know you said the subject is dead. For any reason to know that he was known to Capitol Police or MPD beforehand? Any indication that he's somebody that had been around the Capitol before, maybe spotted, anything like that?
It does not appear that he is known to the Capitol Police or the Metropolitan Police Department at this time.
Is this a terrorism related?
Sir?
Is this a terrorism related incident?
It does not appear to be terrorism related, but obviously
It's just another white male.
we'll continue to investigate to see if there's some type of nexus along those lines. Yes.
White male conspiracy theorists are the biggest terrorists.
Not going to change at all. What's their mission look like the next couple of days?
I'll
I mean, that's how I feel now.
refer that to the United States Capitol Police.
Did the suspect say anything or yell anything at the time?
Ali Akbar, but it's not terrorist related.
I would say that at this time, the investigation is still in its preliminary stages, so we don't have that
There's a pandemic. You want to pull your mask up right now? You're getting kind of close to microphones that other people were.
information. And the Capitol Police, as far as its security posture, remains in a steady state at this time. We are very thankful for our National Guard partnership. We do have national.
You know, these people come out so professional and they just run through this, and it's like it's rehearsed. It's like they're going out like this. Just looks like they rehearsed this before.
National Guard on the campus, but the security posture at this time remains the same.
So you said that you said that obviously the motive, you're still looking at the motive. I understand that. Any reason to believe that there was any specific?
Look at that. Like, come on. Can you put something up there? I missed her name. Maybe it's Sun, but just to see that right there. Just to like tell people for years that the hoax codes are Sun, the man, the Ram, and then just to see them right there.
target a member of Congress? Was there a specific member of Congress that the suspect may have
Man, Rams, car, into sun.
been trying to go after? Any indication who that may have been, if that was the case?
We do not have the suspect on file
Oh, no, her name's got the man in it.
with U.S. Capitol Police, so there's no indication at this
Oh, wait, she was the one that had the mask on when she first came up? That's who that is? Because,
time that there's any nexus to any member of Congress.
right?
Can you speak also to the
Yes, ma'am.
Drugs or alcohol involved? Do you believe you found any of that in the car?
We cannot confirm that, but the investigation is
Any
ongoing.
weapons in the car?
The suspect did exit the vehicle with a knife in hand.
Like, you know how stupid it is, right? It's just, who's going to ram a car at the Capitol when it's the first time it's ever been secured by, giant fence and military? I'm sure someone's going to choose now to do that. This is beyond fake.
And at that time he started.
This is what you get with Democrat and Joe Biden. I mean, it's not them, but it's when those people get into office, these are the things that go on.
To lunge toward,
They're still puppets.
run aggressively toward U.S. Capitol
But in the
Police
vehicle,
Office.
any weapons?
No, that part of the investigation is still ongoing. The scene is still being processed by Metropolitan Police Department, so
I hope the officer who died has son in his name.
we will have additional information at a later time.
So you get transported, acted on.
Did the suspect ever come in contact? I know you mentioned the lunge, but did the suspect come in contact and wrestle with the police officer there?
The investigation is ongoing. From what we can
Man, I don't want to sit here and listen to all this. I really don't care.
Yeah, can you tell us who the second officer?
Hey, folks. We understand that you guys have a lot of questions. Obviously, this is a complex investigation. We are going
Hey,
to
folks.
be putting out more information as we can on social media.
Right, see, on our social media, really, you're going to tweet out about
And
it.
if we decide to do any more briefings later on, we'll, of course, let you guys know right away. Thank you.
Can you give us an update on Chief Hunty? Can we ask you one more question?
Sure.
Here comes Brooke Baldwin's bitch ass. Oh, there you have it. Another one gone. Oh, my God.
One question I have, looking at the grand fabric of all of this, USCP has changed their intelligence, the way they're sharing it. They've been doing what they can to try to beef up the
I think he's wearing a purple mask.
security here, and still they're under attack. What is the answer?
Like, this one last question is beyond staged. Oh, my God. This is so bad. This is so bad. It's so stupid.
They've been doing what they can to try to beef up the security here, and still they're under attack. What is the answer?
Yeah, well, I think, just part of our responsibilities and duties as law enforcement officers, we're here to protect and serve community. Clearly, this was someone who was actively trying to just get at whoever or whatever. We just don't know right now. So we have a responsibility to investigate that, to get to the bottom of this, whether the attack was at law enforcement or whoever. We have a responsibility to get to the bottom of it, and we'll do that. Thank
Suspect
you.
died at the scene or at the hospital?
See, there it is. She just did it. Did you hear it? She always does it. Try to get close so you can hear the.
Scene or at the hospital?
As you heard from the U.S. Capitol Police Acting Chief Yogananda Pittman, that with a heavy heart, she had to stand there before reporters and
Yogananda Pittman. Pittman.
really before America, not soon after burying their own officer, Brian Sicknick, from the death after the U.S. Capitol insurrection, now announcing one of these two officers has also now died. Lauren Fox covers the Capitol for us here at CNN. Lauren, obviously our thoughts and prayers to.
So, like, they want you to believe two cops were hit by a car and the guy driving the car was shot dead. All in that scene right there.
This family who has not even been
This is just all Hollywood. It's all just bullshit theater.
identified, or rather notified, so we don't know the name of this officer yet, but another U.S. Capitol Police officer protecting the Capitol, protecting America, dying.
That's right, Brooke.
There's your 33s just sitting right there.
I mean, look, this is absolutely
Traffic lights.
heartbreaking. This force has already been through so much, especially after the January 6th attack. When you think about what happened during the insurrection, and now just a couple of weeks later, just a couple of months later, this happening again at the U.S. Capitol, it just is a reminder of what these men and women do every single day when they show up for work. They keep us safe.
Shut up with your purple shirt on.
We see them every day going in and out of these buildings. And I think that it's just an important reminder to viewers that, the U.S. Capitol is a staff of thousands of people, including these U.S. Capitol police officers who work to keep it very safe. Now, we learned a couple of additional details as part of this press conference. They were asked specifically if this was a target, if this individual was trying to target any one member of Congress. They said they did not have this.
How would you know it's not terror related this quick? But other events are terror related within minutes.
Person in their file.
People just believe whatever the television tells them.
And at this time, they didn't have any further information about what that motive was. This investigation, of course, still on.
And it's like a purple car almost. It's blue, but
going. But just devastating.
I don't know.
Devastating news here that one of the Capitol police officers has been killed in this incident.
Bullshit.
And just a reminder to our viewers at home, this individual rammed
does not exist
into a barrier here at the U.S. Capitol at the north entrance of the Capitol on the corner of Constitution and Delaware. Then that person, and this was confirmed just a moment.
Yeah, I was looking at the sign. I thought it said Delaware.
Ago in this press.
That's kind of like Somali Demo Garden. You need to pay attention and see if anything happens in Delaware within the next couple of weeks to month. Can we expect a phony fake show event in Delaware? Huh? Well, Constitution, Delaware? Is that even a place? Is that what she said? I'm going to look it up after this, see if that place even exists. Shout out to Anaconda Malt Liquor.
Conference got out of the vehicle brandishing a weapon, brandishing a knife. They were then shot by a U.S. Capitol police officer. And
who brings a knife to a gunfight in 2021 when every other day there's a shooting on TV?
We have now learned that the suspect is dead and that a U.S. Capitol police officer has died. Brooke.
Warren Fox, thank you.
So now we're going to secure the Capitol with we're going to put barbed wire and a moat with alligators in it.
Brian, Todd, to you, about 100 yards from that. There you go. They're at the news conference. And we also heard that there doesn't appear to be an ongoing threat.
Well, no shit. You killed the only person involved.
Yeah, Brooke, the chief of the D.C. Metropolitan.
Okay, we're about done. That last line's wrapping this up for me.
Where this occurred, just beyond these National Guards, but here where you see that ambulance, that's Constitution Avenue. That's the area where the suspect rammed into the barrier.
Constitution, Delaware. Phony fake show event, April 20th.
In the vehicle, Chief Pittman was not able to give those answers either, Brooke. But again, a very, very violent episode here, just steps away from the Capitol, occurring a little less than 2 hours ago.
Awful. Again, hearing Chief Pittman saying it's an extremely difficult time.
Awful. We got our cameras there to see it, to get it afterwards, but we don't have anything to show you before and during it happening.
And please keep the Capitol Police.
Well, CNN's right there.
In your
look, I found one shoe.
Prayers, Brian. Thank you. Evan Perez, back over to you. I know you were chatting earlier about how I know you're a big runner and
what has this guy been doing?
You're running around Capitol Hill and you know exactly where this is and you know exactly where these Capitol Police officers, stand right before, this barrier, right, where this car clearly slammed into, and it just gives you a sense to imagine one of these officers now has.
This video is almost 20 minutes. I don't ever do 20-minute videos.
Pretty easy to get a gun. And so that's one of the first things that occurred to me, certainly occurred to law enforcement. The investigators who were on the scene is, why is that? We've seen a lot of attacks in Europe, in other places, a few in this country as well with knife attacks. And so that's one of the first things people immediately want to know. And you this country as well with knife
Need to ban automatic cars.
attacks. And so that's one of the first things people immediately want to know. And you heard from the acting police chief there for the Capitol Police that at this point they don't know of any connection to the terrorist groups. And so that's an important thing that at least at this point that they, at least from what they can.
Nobody will remember this event in 2 or 3 days. Because there will be something else that happens that's even worse and shocking.
News we're covering this afternoon. We have just learned a Capitol Hill police officer is dead and another officer is injured after someone rammed this vehicle, this blue vehicle in the middle of all the crime scene tape here, rammed this car into these two officers and then ultimately into that barricade. You see the word stop there on the white metal, ramming the car into the barricade on the northern barricade.
How does she know it's metal? I'd have thought brick.
The Capitol building, and this is
concrete.
Obviously, video of that car. And if you know the area, this is Constitution Avenue in Delaware. We know this person, this suspect, according.
Yeah, I bet you do know this person. I bet you hired him, and you know.
To the police who just gave this news conference, jumped out of this car, had a knife, was lunging at these Capitol police officers, and so one of the officers have.
Like, what are you doing? Like, how do you know all of this? Like, you're just telling a vision right now?
They reached for guns and fired shots.
One did a backflip, jumped over the barrier, hid behind it, shot.
That's a response. That suspect, we can also confirm, is dead. That person died at the scene. As far as a motive, it's still so early. They don't have any sort of motivation at this time, but they say they don't believe the...
You don't have motivation. That doesn't make any sense.
As far as a motive, it's still so early. They don't.
As far as a motive is like so early, they don't have any motivation.
Have any sort of motivation at this time, but they say they don't believe.
The cop just died. They have tons of motivation. What are you talking about? You're the worst at your job. Are you drunk?
The incident is terror related, and they also believe they don't. It doesn't appear to be an ongoing threat. But step back from all of this. This is all happening today. Unfolding less than 3 months since.
Less than 3 minutes after the Derek, Don, David, white boy cop, Chauvin trial ended. Like literally 5 minutes after the trial ended for the weekend. Breaking news. There's something going on at the Capitol. Someone said 2 cops were shot, but I got some sources saying it wasn't 2 cops shot. They were hit by a car. Oh, okay. 5 minutes later, the suspects died. Hour later, the cops died.
The Capitol insurrection, January 6th. So staff on the Hill, lawmakers, obviously can't help but be triggered by what happened mere months ago, all hearing, Congress is on recess, but there are some...
Are y'all really trying to go after Trump people again?
Staffers, some members there, just reliving that horrific day from 3 years ago. Listen to what we just heard.
Maybe it's a Q person?
From the acting chief of the Capitol Police, Chief Pittman.
Unreal.
At approximately 1:02 hours.
All right, I got to end this video. This is too long. Who's going to listen to all this? This is boring as shit.
Tough. And I know what they're going through.
And then they bring on a guy who's got Ram in his name. So, like, it never ends, man.
And I know what Chief Pittman's going through. I mean, I lost...
Still not a lot. Still not understanding why this person, this suspect who is now dead, would.
Yeah, we're done.